Everybody, this is AmondaRose, your speaking success strategist. How would you like to promote, profit, and publish all at the same time? I know that's a big win for lots of people. So let's get started with my amazing interview with Juliet Dillon Clark. Hi, Juliet.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. So Juliet, can you tell us a little bit about your business and what type of clients you work with?
So our business has morphed tremendously over the years. We started out as this publishing company, and we soon found that many of those people who published a book, for them, it became just another failed product in a long line of failed products. So now we are not only a publishing company, but we're a marketing company and platform building company. And what that means is we help authors, coaches, speakers, and small businesses build a digital footprint so that before they launch anything, whether it's a book, product, or service, people already know who they are, they're invested in their content, and they know them, like them, and trust them. And that's where the magic happens. Things sell.
You know, because it's all about relationships, right? Because think anybody, you're not going to buy from somebody who you do not feel comes from the right space of serving you, wants your best for you, has great value to offer you, is exceptional at what they do. You want that. And so we all have to build that. We can't just go, okay, I'm a speaker. Okay, I wrote a book and everybody's going to buy my book without having those foundational principles. So that is awesome, Juliet. So Juliet, we do find that authors, speakers, coaches, what other type of entrepreneurs or business professionals would come to you?
We work a lot with small businesses as well. There's a lot of misinformation out there about what a digital platform looks like. So for many people, they go out and they start posting on social media, but it's meaningless. They don't do it in the right way, which stimulates engagement and builds relationships. And the other thing that they do quite a bit is they go out and they put a website up, and they don't actually have sales and marketing funnels and social media that converts people into their list. So what they have is a really expensive business card in their website, and that's it. So that's where we help people get out of that marketing mold, because so many people are so busy working in their zone of genius that for them, marketing and getting themselves out on the internet is really difficult for them.
I heard you kind of share about somebody that you know that she was hosting an event and she was trying to market her event, and you talked about the kind of things that she was posting, which really kind of turned people off. Do you remember that conversation?
I'm not sure I remember that one, but I can relate that a lot to books.
Mm-hmm.
People get on and they start posting about their book. Oh, my book's out. Yay. Then they post every day, buy my book. And people don't really care about their book. Their friends will buy, maybe a few friends will buy. So what they do are things that are not really intentional to building an audience around what they do. I wish I could remember the event. I know I have the story I tell about MySpace, my friend who had a business.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is why it's so important to have a sales and marketing funnel and have an email list and have social media that's building relationships. For those of you who remember MySpace, which I don't, probably a lot of you won't admit that you do. That makes you pretty old.
I do. But I'm not old, Julia.
No, you're not old. But, so MySpace, for those of you who don't know, was kind of the precursor to Facebook. It was out there. It was where everybody went, and it was like the new platform. And so one of my dear, dear friends had an online magazine that she had on MySpace, and she was getting over 300,000 hits a month on that online magazine, which is just an extraordinary audience she picked up. The problem is she never had people opt in to get the magazine. She never transitioned them into her list, and she made her money from sponsorships, and quite a good living at that. Like if I said how much, you'd be like, I want that kind of living. What happened is people started jumping off of MySpace and into Facebook. And she didn't have a way to contact these people. So what ended up happening is she lost her business. And if she had simply built a marketing funnel and had people opt in to get the monthly magazine, she could have sent out an email and said, hey, join us over on Facebook. The fun's going to continue over on this new platform. Here's the link, boom. And people would have followed, and she would have had an amazing, amazing list that she could sell other products and services with. But that's not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't understand, as most of us didn't at the time, that our social media accounts may have our name on it and they may have our content, but they don't belong to us. They belong to, let's say for Facebook, that belongs to Mark Zuckerberg. And if you don't transition those people off of Facebook and into your list, they are never yours. And you are literally one algorithm push away from losing your entire audience that you may have spent years building. So all of this is super important.
Wow. That's it. You got me thinking, Juliet, like I never thought about it. That's true. Or Facebook deletes you, or says you don't like what you're doing, then closes your account down. There it goes. All your efforts have been for nothing at that point.
And I've got to admit, I've been sent to Facebook jail a couple times. So, what if they decide not to parole me and I'm permanently, life in Facebook jail? I've just lost my whole audience for probably what is an infraction of lunacy. I probably didn't even really do anything that was, really warranted it, but that's the kind of power they have.
Yeah, they could, for me, I've sent too many messages or too many friend requests, and they've warned me. They've never, put me in Facebook jail, but they've warned me. And they hold a lot of power over you. And also too, when it comes to, putting out that content and that building that platform, when it comes to live events, people, you may see this, is people will message you and say, hey, you coming to my live event? They don't even know you. Or, right? Or why aren't you buying a ticket? They don't even know you. And that's often what happens. They haven't built a relationship. And those type of things, I know for myself, I don't pay them any attention. It just goes, I move on. We're not in a relationship. I don't know who you are, and I'm just going to ignore it. And so it's all about building that relationship, that content, helping people see all the things that you've shared and you've done to build the credibility to create those kind of registrations for events and things like that.
It truly is. And think about it for a moment. This has happened to every single one of us. It happens to me on Facebook. It happens to me on LinkedIn more than Facebook. Somebody will send me a friend request. I'll say yes. And all of a sudden I've got an inbox inviting me to an event or selling me something. And think about that for a moment. If I walked up to you and I didn't know you and I said, hey, I want to sell you my program, you would kind of look at me and go, okay. And you would do everything you could to get out of that conversation because it feels icky. It feels it feels a little like standoffish and powerlessness. Power, like you have no power. Like what just happened? And why would you do that? And that's what all the relationship building takes out of the equation. This month, I have a community building class that's going on that we're also going to do next month. But I filled the entire class with what I call an inner circle launch. And those are people that are in my Facebook community. They're in my list. I've been communicating with them. I have a relationship with them. And I was able to reach out and say, hey, I have this really extraordinary thing come up. Love to have you a part of it. And what will it take to get you in it? And actually having those conversations with people about where they're strong and where they're weak. And that is the result of relationship building from social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And so what would you say, like when somebody's saying, okay, all right, I'm clear from this conversation that I need to build a platform, what would be the pieces of that platform? What are things that they need to consider?
So there's the very first piece is who's your target audience? And I think that's where so many of us really and truly miss the ball, is that we don't really know. We guess instead of doing really solid market research and knowing. So the place that I start people is with a program that identifies just the bare bones and building a client avatar And then we start building a Facebook community around that, and we learn assessment marketing. Because the assessment marketing piece will actually help you go out and start communicating with that market that you think you have. And you may find out some big things like those people aren't really your market. Give you an example. When I first started out, I thought my market was all writers. And I soon found out that probably 90% of the people out there are starving artists. And you have to be able to put programs and services and books together that people actually buy, which means they have to have purchasing power. So a lot of times we'll get a new idea or we'll have a new product. And if we don't know who our market is and we're not communicating with that market, chances are our product or even our market are going to fail because we don't have a really good handle on whether they have purchasing power, what their purchasing behavior is, and where these people are, where we can actually find these people.
Because I've done market research, and it's been enlightening to me, the things that I've discovered about what I thought people needed. Now, both of us, we've been in business a long time, and yes, we understand from the work that we're doing where people fall short, where their challenges are, what's the next step for them. But I know for myself, as I can often, because I've been doing so long, I can be a little closed-minded. And so I've been doing those surveys, whether it was online or interviewing people, I really discovered certain little things that I didn't know, or language that they used, right? One for me was confidence. It kept coming up in survey results, confidence. And it wasn't, they weren't saying public speaking fear, public speaking anxiety. They wanted to feel more confident. So you don't know those things without doing kind of some market research.
Right. And that's what's so fabulous about assessment marketing is that, first of all, if I come in and I see realtors do this is probably the best example I can think of off the top of my head. They come out and they say, oh, I've been in business for 50 years, use me. Oh, I sell 50 houses a year, use me. But that doesn't speak to anything that resonates with the consumer. I mean, if you tell me you've been in real estate for 50 years, you could be selling 50 houses a year for the last 50 years, or you could be selling one house a year. So that tells me nothing about who you are. The thing about assessment marketing is when you position everything correctly, you take the focus off you, the expert, and you put it onto the consumer. And the consumer feels good about that because you're listening. You're really wanting to find out what they want. And so that's one of the reasons I think it's so fabulous. The languaging you talked about, that language is super important if you're going to build copy in a sales funnel that resonates with them. It's super important. The other thing is when you put these together, you have the ability as an entrepreneur, when you sit down at strategy sessions, when they're taking these assessments, they already know where they're weak. So you take that entire defensiveness out of the phone call where you have to say, and I say it differently than other people, but hey, your social media sucks. Think about that. If I tell you something about yourself where you're maybe not so strong, your walls go up. So they come into that call already with their walls down, and you get to do those fun things like, if I had a magic wand, what would your business look like? So you get to have those fun things going on where they're actually building a visualization for themselves and you of what they want their business to look at instead of focusing on the areas where they already have found out they're weak.
Yeah, because and everybody's vision is different, right? So we can never assume that what I want is the same as somebody else's, or that the last conversation I had half an hour ago is the same conversation. Yeah, it's really getting to the heart of what people want the most.
It is. And the other benefit of that too is you don't build a program. You don't want to put 100 hours of time and marketing money and all that into a program unless you know it's what people want. So all of that takes the guesswork and the risk out of it.
I'll meet lots of people and they say, well, I've been working on this program I want to teach for 3 years. 3 years. And once I get that done, I'll start speaking or I'll start writing my book. Once I get that done.
Well,
it's all like a defense mechanism, right? So they figure, okay, I'll do that. And if they never get that done, then they never have to get out of their comfort zones.
That's very true. Here's the thing about platform building. You don't need to have a program. You don't need to have a book. You just need a message. And if you spend 6 months to a year just developing relationships and getting that message out there without any intention of, I'm going to sell you something. When you go to sell them something, you're going to have this fabulous rapport, and they're actually salivating for what you have to give them. And that's why we actually, when you come into our publishing company, we require that you spend 6 to 12 months with us building your platform first, because for most people, they already have a failed program or two, and then they think writing the book is their solution. And the real solution was that they never built the platform. And once they get that going, those programs start to sell, and then people are excited about the book. So you just have to have an expectation going in that, you know, it's going to take me 3 to 6 to 12 months to do this, and I may not sell anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's kind of talk about for books. So I meet a lot of people and they say, AmondaRose, I'm a speaker and I'm working on my book. And they think, and I'm sure you hear this, they think the book is the end all and be all of them being successful. And I always want to say, you know how much money you're going to make on your books? Very, very little. But it's a great credibility factor. But a lot of people, they think they have to have their book done, and they also have the belief system that they're going to make a lot of money on their books. So let's kind of talk about how can they make money before they're even published. So they're thinking about writing their book, and how can they start to monetize that?
So first of all, I wouldn't even start your book until you have your platform built, because you want to write the book that's the right book for what people want. For those people who are writing that book because they want more credibility, it's time to get out and start building that audience, because once you build your audience and you're putting out into your audience original content developed by you, and that's one of the things that holds people up a lot, is they say, oh, I've got appointments, I've got this, I've got sales calls, I don't have time for content. And so learning how to create content simply and easily and in alignment with who you are is probably one of the big steps. Getting it out there and then building those relationships, that will sell your programs in and of yourself. One of the big problems people have with selling programs is nobody knows who they are. Mm-hmm. Or what they stand for. If you take a look at someone like you, I'm going to use you as an example. There are a ton of people out there that are speaking coaches, and probably most of them teach about the same things. The difference is if I know you and I know what you do, and I like the way you present yourself, and I trust you because you've given me a lot of really valuable information and content with actionable steps, then when I go to hire a coach, you may be my logical choice. Mm-hmm. Versus someone who I don't know, I don't trust, they're a flash in the pan. With someone like me, I have a very straightforward personality. And so I'm the no BS book and business mentor. Now, what that means is there are a lot of people out there who do what I do as well. But it's what you resonate with. So do you want somebody who's going to say, no, that's not going to work, let's not waste our time there? Or do you want a coach that's going to say, oh, well, let's try it, and I can do some hand holding, and then you've wasted 6 months and a whole lot of money on something that doesn't work. So you're going to connect with that coach who connects with you the best. And that's why it's important to get yourself out there, because you're not going to sell programs if no one knows who you are.
And two, that's also great for referrals, because if somebody says, you know, I've been thinking about writing a book, or I want to build an online community or a tribe, and they might, well, Juliet, they're going to think of you because they have a relationship with you already. They may not be your client at the moment, but they know other people. And so the same thing, you know, lots of businesses are built on referrals. And so if you get in front of a lot of people and build those relationships, you can create also a lot of referrals.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And good partnerships. Once you get your sales and marketing funnels built, then you become a very attractive joint venture partner as well. And other people will go out and send you business on a commission basis. And you can do the same for them and have an extra stream of income.
Right. And so this is great along this line too, is because when you build this tribe, this community, this platform, you can then monetize your relationships with other people. Not only can they market you to their tribe, you can also market them. If you have ever followed somebody who's very successful sends emails, you will see that they're often interviewing other people, often introducing. And every time somebody purchases that other person's program, they make probably 50% or even sometimes 75% or 35%. So they're making a lot of money through their relationship with you and their relationship with them.
Absolutely.
Yep. So what's the number one mistake that people make when it comes to book publishing?
Publishing their book before that platform's built. They always, when you talk to them before the book is written, they'll say, I don't have time to do both. And my answer would be, then stop the book and build your platform, because that's going to be easier for you to monetize. Let's think about this for a minute. You touched on it a minute ago. That book, that be all end all that is in your head that is going to make you or break you, sells for $9.99. Probably the profit
$2.99.
Probably the profit you're going to make off that is maybe half, maybe less than that. However, if you build your platform, then it makes it easier for you to sell programs that are, thousands of dollars. So I don't know. I don't want to be one of those people who's jumping over dimes to get to pennies and saying, oh, I got to sell 20,000 books and make, at $3 a book, $60,000, or I can sell $10,000 programs because people know me, like me, and trust me. And the book is just icing on the cake. That's what our company does for people, is building that presence. So that book is not the end all be all. It's the icing on the cake, saying, wow, I do all this other stuff, and what an overachiever I am. Now I have a book too.
And the beauty of all that great content that you shared and repurposed and put it on your blog and put it on your Facebook group and put it on LinkedIn, you save all that stuff, and you know where it goes, Juliet? In your book.
Yep. It can go in your book, or it can be extra program material. I've got a ton of stuff that is that I've done over the years that is program bonus material.
Yeah.
It's still pertinent, but when I put a program together, it literally takes me maybe, I do a module a week, and then I've got all these bonuses I can throw in that are already done, that are already pieces I've done before. So it really takes a lot of the work out of putting a program together too.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. When I wrote my first book, I had written articles and after articles and articles, and then I took those articles and put it in my book. And this was before social media, just so you know. We didn't have online platforms. And so, and I took all that content and then I just added to where I felt like there were holes and gaps. And my book was done super fast by using that. So it's really simple to do that. Really simple. So Julia, I'm going to ask you one other question. Before I do, I wanted to know what would be a great step for our viewers. If they want to reach out to you, if they want to get your help, what should they do?
Well, there's a couple of things. You can find me at juliet@superbrandpublishing.com. You can reach out by email. I have a great platform building book on Facebook. It's called Platform Building for Authors, Coaches, and Speakers. And you can go get in there and find out more about us. You can also, we have a free gift today where you can find out a little bit more about what we do and assess your skills as well. If you go over to www.platformbuildingbizquiz.com, and that's B-I-Z quiz.com, you can assess your own skills and find out a little bit more about what we do there as well.
That's awesome. And I'll have you repeat that at the end as well.
Okay.
So Julia, I have one other question for you. Who has been your biggest inspiration?
Wow, my biggest inspiration, probably Jane Duber. Jane is the creator of the Smart Biz Quiz, which is a tool that we use everywhere in our funnel. She's really smart. I've been through a couple of her programs, and I love her energy. I love what she does. And I love being able to take the tools that she has invented and created and using them to help my people get further in their businesses.
She's figured out where problems were, and she came up with a solution to those problems.
Absolutely. And what's really terrific about it is I have taken her solutions to some problems and then incorporated it into problems that my people have. And it's really been a great collaboration. People, when they go through the marketing assessment with us for the first time, and we've been doing it the last week because it was part of our community building program, they just, like, you can see the light go on, like, oh my gosh, this is going to transform what I'm doing here and give me such great feedback about my consumers. So it's really exciting. It's exciting, the work she's done.
It's so cool. It's cool. So Juliet, tell us a little bit again, where people wanted to reach out to you, your website, and as well as the quiz that they can take.
So I have a couple websites. If you're a small business entrepreneur, go over to www.julietclark.com. For publishing, www.superbrandpublishing.com. And then go over and take the assessment and find out where your platform building skills are. You can go to www.platformbuildingbizquiz, and biz is spelled B-I-Z, and that's .com, www.platformbuildingbizquiz.com. And just find out, where you're really rocking it and where maybe you're not, that you need some work pulling it all together. That's one thing, that people have a lot of the pieces out there, but they just don't know how to pull them together.
Yeah, because you don't know what you don't know. So something's not working, get the expert help, figure it out. You have somebody show you where your holes are so you can fix those little holes and you can skyrocket your success. Because anybody who's successful in business has always known where their strengths and their weaknesses are and has been open to getting help. Well, Juliet, you have been awesome. So thank you so much. I know our viewers have gotten tons of great information, and make sure you reach out to Juliet. And anything else you want to say before we go?
Go over to the platform building group on Facebook. I can't talk all of a sudden. Go over to our platform building community on Facebook.
Awesome. Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Love to you all. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.